Hey, my friend, are you a small business owner that loves God, family, country, and capitalism? If so, you're in the right place. Welcome to the War Plan Briefing. My name is Joshua Latimer. Today, we're going to have a powerful few minutes to spend together. We're going to talk about 8 life lessons that can make you a fortune. It's really true. How do I compress 40 years worth of knowledge into a super short video to give you some of the biggest takeaways I've had on my journey of building and selling 4 companies in 3 different industries, falling on my face, being bankrupt in my 20s, living in a trailer park, to buying a castle house cash, to there's all this stuff in my journey. Where are you at on your journey? And let me ask you, would it be helpful to you if you could go faster, right? Hopefully these 8 items will help you go faster. I think they will, especially a couple of the ones at the end, so don't miss those. Number 1, here's the first lesson for you that I've learned. Start before you're ready. Start before you're ready. You know, I could, as a subcategory under this, also say trust yourself more. You don't have to make perfect decisions to be successful. You just have to make decisions. And what people do is they think about what they're about to do for 5 years. You need to massively imperfectly begin now. You don't have to wait to be anointed by the town elders to have permission to pursue your dreams. You know, I built multiple software products. And the software company I have, SendJim, our offices in Tennessee, and Daniel Dixon, shout out to our CEO, who's crushing it, way smarter than me, did a way better job being CEO. That business almost bankrupted me. It gave me like business PTSD. It was very difficult. But here's the thing. I don't know how to code. No one came and anointed me and gave me permission to do it. I just started to figure out how to do it. I made tons of mistakes. I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars extra than I needed to because I didn't understand project management and Scrum and all the waterfall development stuff and how to talk to developers and developeries and all the things, right? You get feature-itis. I could do a whole video on what not to do with software. My point is that you need to begin now. My friend Eileen Wilder always says, do it now, do it now, do it now, do it now. So I'm saying to you, do it now. Start before you're ready, because it's easier to learn while you're in momentum taking action than it is by theoretically, going through it in your head when you're not actually doing stuff. You're going to get feedback in real time as you're moving, and you can make decisions and learn how to trust yourself as you're going. You do not need permission to pursue your dreams. Number 2, capital does not fix most problems. It actually accelerates solutions. People want to get debt to experiment with stuff. This happens a lot with marketing. People will get all excited and they want to use a credit card to pay for their first direct mail campaign, which is a horrible idea because we don't want to use capital to experiment. Capital, think of it as an accelerant. So if you have a business model that's already working, if you figured out direct mail and you just want to do more of it to go faster, that's where it makes sense to deploy capital. People falsely believe, especially broke people, that their biggest problem is not having money. It's not true. It's a lie. It's an excuse. It's easy to believe. It feels comforting. Well, that guy has money and I don't, so boo-hoo for me. You need to become more resourceful. Money does not solve the problems because most people wouldn't even know how to deploy the capital even if they had it. The universe isn't letting you have capital yet because you haven't learned the life lessons. How do you become more resourceful right now? It's not your lack of resources that's holding you back. It's not the money that you need. What if you still had to solve the problem and you weren't allowed to get the capital? Is it impossible to solve it? If you airdropped me into your situation, would I solve it? If I airdropped a Tommy Mello guy who's going to be a billionaire in the garage door space, if I took these high achieving people and I gave them your identical circumstance and they also didn't have capital, would they fail too? And if the answer is no, which the answer is no, if the answer is no, then capital is not your constraint. You see, but because you think that's this big problem, you're getting permanently stuck for no reason. Forget about that. Solve the problem a different way. Go shake hands, kiss babies, make 1 + 1 = 3, get partnerships, build trust with influential people, recruit better talent, be the fearless leader, learn how to cast vision, learn how to be a communicator, how to be a persuader, and how to get people excited, and you'll be fine. Number 3, the hardest sale is to yourself. This probably should go at the top of the list because the hardest sale truly is to yourself. Are you worthy of success? The answer is yes, but you might not think so. Do you have what it takes to be successful? The answer is yes, but you might not think so, right? What if everyone in your actual blood family is an abject failure financially? What if they're good people, but they just don't understand money? And you would be the first person to kind of change the family tree. That messes with your brain. because it falsely makes people believe it must be my destiny to have a life like this. People like us, we struggle like this, and you're not understanding that you have everything required to go in whatever direction you want. Now, it can be very difficult mentally to believe that, but you need to actively work at selling yourself. You need to learn how to persuade and market to yourself. You need to be around more successful people. You have to protect your eye gates and your ear gates and the content that goes into your brain. The people you give permission to speak into your life are marketing to you to either continue believing that this is true over here, when the reality is success is waiting for you if you believe that you're actually capable and worthy. You know, it's one thing to believe that success is possible. It's an entirely freaking different thing to believe that success is possible for you. And I promise you that it is. I believe in you 10 times more than you believe in you. And I ain't lying. It's really true. I don't care what your IQ score is. I don't care what your high school GPA is. I don't care what your parents did or didn't do. I don't care if you come from 5 generations of abject poverty and felonious assault from all of your extended uncles and theft and whatever, curses seem to be on your bloodline. The reality is, if you follow the normal path and model what actually works, you cannot fail. You cannot fail. We stop playing the game, right? Because we hit a roadblock and it's hard. We're like, I knew it. I knew it was never going to work for me, right? You start trying to follow these principles and it will rain. There's a little, Eeyore thunderstorm cloud over your head and it's hard for 6 months. I knew it. I knew it. People like us, we got to eat the rich. It's the successful people's problem. I'm going to go vote for Bernie Sanders now so I can feel better about myself. Look, you have what it takes. It may not be easy, but it's not complicated. You just have to consistently show up, adding more value, increasing your mindsets, your skill sets, and your network over a long enough time horizon, and things will go very well for you. Number 4, life lesson. Reading books is a waste of time unless the book actually gets through you. I tell my children, the purpose of reading a book is not to get through the book. The purpose of reading a book is to get the book through you. You're better off reading one book 10 times and attaining mastery of it than you are reading 100 books. And it's funny because a lot of entrepreneurs, there's this whole weird internet culture of, it's like a flex to say that you've read a lot of books or something. And people like to write their blog about, read one book a week, Oh yeah, I read that book. Yeah, I read that book. But they don't know the book. They don't remember 1% of what's in the book because they want to just get through the book to check the box just so they can get, in their mind, they can impress people that they read a book. It doesn't impress me that you freaking read a book. What impresses me is people that have mastery over subject matter. People that know things so deep that they can re-articulate it even more clearly than the book because they've read 4 books on the same topic 6 times each. They took handwritten notes and they have mastery over it. The goal is mastery, not getting through books. The books on my bookshelf back here, I read them slowly. I usually take handwritten notes when I read a book. It takes me forever to finish a book because if I don't understand something, I stop and I'll go Google it and I'll watch 3 YouTube videos on it. If they use a word or a phrase I don't understand, I stop until I understand the phrase because getting through the book is pointless. Getting the book through to me is the goal, right? If I remember when I first heard of phrases like heuristics and adaptive preference formation, right? I'm like, what is that? I'm not going to just skim through that. I have to stop what I'm doing to understand what a mental rut heuristic is, what the mental short, which is interesting. You should study heuristics because we all have negative heuristics that hold us back from success. That's not the point. The point is, keep reading books, but slow your butt down. Read them multiple times. Alex Hormozi made a video one time where he said when he gets to the end of a book, he immediately goes back to the first page of the book. And he keeps doing that until he feels there's no more juice to squeeze out of that orange. That's why he's successful. One of the reasons he's successful. Number 5 is to realize that you are dumb. Or maybe it's nicer for me to say, number 5 life lesson is that I realize I am dumb. Socrates famously said, or is it Aristotle? I don't remember. One of the 2 bearded Greek statue guys, philosophers, said the only thing I know is that I know nothing. I think this is a profound thing to understand. Really smart people, successful people are hyper aware of their own inadequacies. Dumb people that are not successful, they truly believe they've figured it out. In reality, they figured nothing out. The smarter you get, the more successful you get, what should be happening, unless something's broken in your head, is you should become increasingly aware that you know nothing relative to everything that there is to know. How is that not true? How do you not see that? If you think you figured it out, you're de facto stuck. You're automatically disqualified from learning more stuff because your brain shuts off. The dumber you think you are, the more you can listen and hear and understand the nuance of the things other people people can teach you. You could be making $50 million a year and you could learn something from someone making $200,000 a year. There's nuance, there's nuggets, there's things. But sometimes when we think we figured it out, our brain turns off, our mouth runs too much, and we don't listen. It's valuable to believe that you are dumb relative to everything that you could know. Number 6, it's an epiphany that everyone's already consistent. So let me give you an example. When I do workshops with small business owners, they like to talk about systems. What systems do I need to be successful? Here's the reality that I realize is that everybody, all of their companies, even the way they are with themselves, is already fully systemized right now. The question never has been actually, do you need systems? Because you already have them. Another example is people say, well, to be successful, you have to be consistent. Right? And sure, that's true. But if we go 2 layers, inception level, like below that, the reality is that everyone already is consistent. You ever think about that? Everybody already has confidence too. If you really want me to break your brain, someone that struggles with their weight, who maybe is obese and has shame issues for whatever reason, maybe they're sexually abused, maybe whatever, this 400-pound person that is struggling with that, it's not that they don't have confidence. They have tons of confidence, but it's inverted negative confidence. They're 100% confident that they're not worthy. They're 100% confident that they're not worth it, or they're not enough, that they're not lovable. They have all these very confident, certain beliefs in their heart. They're fully persuaded on a bunch of bad things. It's not that they need confidence, they need positive confidence. The same is true with consistency. You're already consistent with who it is that you believe you are. If you go home and waste time scrolling through TikTok all the time and you're not putting in the work, if you're constantly planning to go do the money-making stuff but not doing it, you're being perfectly consistent. And your bank account will reflect that consistency, because the bank account that you have is just a lagging indicator of who you actually are in the things you did or did not do a month ago or 6 months ago, right? Are you picking up what I'm throwing down? Don't just try to be consistent. Be consistent at the things that will move the needle for you with success. Okay, and second to last, number 7 is people think, okay, this one's a little abstract, but this is a life lesson that's helped me. Who people think the messenger is more important than the message, okay? Now, this is a weird one to put in here, but what I want you to understand, and let me start with an example. If Gary Vaynerchuk sends a tweet and it says, never give up, it'll get like 100,000 shares or something, right? But if you post it on Facebook, never give up, it'll get like 4 likes from your grandma and your mom and your brother and your friend, right? Why is that? Because it is useful and helpful to believe the phrase never give up. Like, the message itself is fine, it's good, but who people believe the messenger is actually more important than the message. And what I mean is, it's not that the message isn't important. What this really means is that perception is reality for people. If people believe that you're a successful, smart, intelligent, caring, benevolent, charitable, amazing person with a big vision, if the people in your world believe that about you, the stuff that you say holds more weight. And so in a way, what I'm suggesting you do is understand, like, the way you position yourself non-verbally, the way you dress, the way you smell, the way that you talk, your vocabulary has a huge, profound impact on the success of your business. And maybe it shouldn't. It kind of bothers me that this is true, but the reality is this is how it is. And so when you do a job interview and it's in your garage and your garage is disorganized and you don't have a shop yet, that perception, that frame messes things up. You need to act your age, or you need to not act your age when it comes to business success. And what that means is you need to behave like a $2 million company while you're a $200,000 company. The way that you dress, the way you show up, the language you use, the type of content you consume, you need to build up the perception of who you are to the people around you, and things will go easier for you. I know that's abstract. I hope it's helpful. If you have questions about it, type it in the thing and I'll make another video going deeper. And last but not least, you need to spend time dreaming. For me, this was unbelievably powerful. When we moved to Costa Rica, I'd sold a company. We moved to Costa Rica for a couple years. We lived in this amazing house with this ridiculous pool. It was like in the jungle, right by the beach. Well, it was about a mile from the beach. And there was monkeys in our backyard every day, and coconut trees and all this stuff. And it was at that time that I started thinking every day. I spent a minimum of 2 hours every single day just thinking, just dreaming. There's other YouTube videos I've made, or you can search on YouTube for Myron Golden, 4 levels of value. I've taught that too. He teaches it better because it's his concept. And the highest form of value creation is imagination, thinking. A lot of people are so busy chasing the carrot that they actually don't have time to even dream and to even think. Or if they have a little dream, they share it with the wrong people. The Bible says, don't cast your pearls before swine. That means your dreams and your goals, the vision for your life, the universe that you need to construct, right? That encapsulates your mission and your mandate and your purpose and your destiny and this kind of direction. You need to be thinking about it every day. You need to be visualizing it every day. And then you need to be very careful on who you share that information with. It's a very precious personal thing. But are you even spending time dreaming? If you're married, how often do you and your spouse talk about the future and what could be? How do you set goals even privately with each other that feel impossible? You should be embarrassed by how big you think privately. And over time, you'll build up the courage to realize, you know what? I think we could actually do that. And it's not going to happen next week, but I believe it. I can see it, because when you spend time living in the future, dreaming and thinking and fantasizing about this positive outcome for you and your family and the impact you're going to make in the world, when you do that, things accelerate like rocket fuel. And I mean that literally. That's what happened to me. And every day I would ride my pink moped, listening to a podcast or just driving down dirt roads, bumpy, listening to the howler monkeys yell at me. I'd go for a walk. I'd go for a jog. In the mornings, I'd go to the beach, and believe it or not, I would run. But I need to start running again. I would go run on the beach. Okay. And I'd just be thinking, daydreaming. How could I break the rules of this? This industry thinks this, but what if this is true? And just thinking, asking abstract, asymmetrical questions that are sometimes frustrating, but over time, those thoughts, those hours of deep thought start to stack together. You start thinking entirely differently, and you'll get really clear on why it's worth suffering for to get what is waiting for you in the future. Hey, I hope you're getting value out of this. I know that was a mouthful. Maybe your head wants to explode right now. I don't know. Tell me in the comments. Share the video. It's such a big deal if you actually watch the whole thing and comment and share it. It tells YouTube that maybe there's something useful here, and maybe it will share it with other people. I appreciate you and your time. I know you're busy. Take care. God bless. I'll see you in the next video.